Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Loans and Coffee. My name is Janae, also known as Indigo Day on Instagram. Don't forget to like, subscribe to Loans and Coffee on YouTube, and follow me on the gram. Before we get started, I would like to introduce my lovely co-host. Guys, please go around the room and introduce yourselves to the people.
Hey y'all, my name's Kendall. You can follow me on Instagram at the.kendall, Kendoll.
I'm Justine. I also go by Iris. On Instagram, it's EYE_RIIS. Well, that sounded real Spanish. RIIS.
And this is Sade. You can subscribe to me on YouTube. My channel is Miss Chachis. And also my Instagram is _Miss Chachis.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining in. So today we have a pretty deep episode that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about daddy and mommy issues and how it plays a role in our dating life. So I just want to say I decided that I wanted to talk about this episode because I feel like it's something that is talked about. I think it's something that's argued about very often and not actually talked about. Nobody sits down and talks. There's a lot of blaming. There's a lot of pointing fingers. Yeah. And I think no victim should ever be blamed, in my opinion, regarding something like this, especially. Right. You know, this is not something that people could control. So that's why I decided for us to have a discussion. And this is part one of the segment, including all the ladies. And I'll have another episode coming up soon, including the men and their opinion on mommy and daddy issues. So let's get started.
Let's do it.
When you hear the phrase daddy issues, what comes to mind?
I'll start.
Okay.
Daddy issues. I'll say confidence, insecurities. Best friend, understanding to some degree. So I don't know how I could explain that in a better term.
I was like, I wish I could help you.
Understanding to some degree, but it was kind of hard to get the point across.
Right. Okay.
But those are my top.
When I think of daddy issues, I think of trauma. I think of the word like confusion and I guess some misunderstandings and lies.
I think I had to throw that in there.
Let me see. When I think daddy issues, I think of someone that's either looking for something in a man that they lack from their father or got too much from their father. Like if they were either spoiled or like just neglected.
I was into that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think when I hear daddy issues, I think of hypersexuality or sexuality avoidant, I should say. And I also think about victim blaming. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Is I see so many discussions on Twitter and stuff where they talk about, oh well, that's you like that because your daddy wasn't there, and it's kind of like a pointing, and it's like, why blame the victim?
Right.
They didn't ask for that, so why are we pointing fingers? Now, when I hear daddy issues, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. When I hear daddy issues, I feel like it's mainly used towards women. That's my personal viewpoint. I mainly see it directed towards women and not really towards men. Now, I'm not saying men don't have daddy issues, they do. But I think the phrase is only mainly used when we're talking about women.
Right.
And I think it's used as a way to like victim blame and control. Like, oh, you're like that because your dad wasn't there. It makes you feel like I'm wrong for that.
They
like,
weaponized it.
Exactly. What do you guys think of like a specific gender when you hear daddy issues, or it's just kind of like the phrase?
I would say it's universal. I really don't say it's either or. I hear it as a whole. I hear it from men too. You hear all the time, men don't know how to be men because their daddy wasn't around.
Exactly.
That's major. I feel like I hear that almost too often. So.
I agree.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Either or.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like men can have daddy issues just like women can have mommy issues.
Yeah, and thank you for leading towards the next question.
Yes.
So the next question is, when you hear mommy issues, what do you think about?
Oh my gosh.
Who wants to go first?
I have a list. I don't even know. I might need to go last.
I don't know. I feel like it's the mommy issues, they kind of, from what I've seen, they're like different for the genders. Like females they like, you know, mothers are harder on their daughters, as they say. So the kind of mommy issues be different from their sons. So the sons probably get like this spoiled side of mom. So I'm looking for what my mom did this, my mom did my laundry, she cooked my food. So that's what I want in a woman. And then like, you know, it's different from girls. So they already treating themselves harder and probably have a lack of confidence because their mother's not there raising them. And then also showing like a womanly side of love. So that kind of like, you know, affects them too.
Yeah, from my personal experience, I've seen mostly men and women that have had mommy issues from abandonment from their mothers. And I've seen how they've like kind of coped, and it's different how men and women cope with being motherless.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest word in that was abandonment. You know, when I think of mommy issues, I think about abandonment, neglect. Because I'm gonna be honest, like most people, they find it rare when like your mom left compared to like, your dad left because it's normalized.
Right.
So it's like, that's what, when people see mommy issues, they think like, she left, like it's neglect in that form. But with dads, it's like, that's just what they do. Like some people are just single moms and that's just, it's more normalized. Like I said, what do you think, Justine?
For mommy issues?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to teeter, but I could agree to some degree with the abandonment. OCD or feeling like you have to be perfect.
Especially as a woman, as a black woman, I know the pressure.
Definitely miscommunication. Top tier. That's probably number one. I think that I love my mom, but I will say our communication could be real sucky. Like we can really
go at it.
She's never cursed me out. I do hear some people, I do hear that a lot too, about mothers putting their daughters down. I will say I didn't go through that, but communication, she wasn't one to like to take blame. It was always not me. I didn't do it. But yeah, it was your mom.
It was you. It was you. And I think as we get older, we're kind of more able to notice all these things.
Absolutely.
Like I didn't realize, I am the way I am because my mom wasn't really there emotionally, or physically at times. And same thing with my dad. So when you have a child who's basically has like a caretaker but not an actual parent, then that kind of leaves you feeling like all you got is yourself. Right, and empty. Like you're always trying to fill that void.
I'll say, if I could interject for a second,
go ahead.
I'm a mom of two, so hearing that is definitely like, I never want to make them feel that way. You know, just think it's important. Just it can go deep.
Listen, that is what Loans and Coffee is here for.
All I'm gonna say is I agree to that. Yeah, it's more than just material things.
Yeah, a lot of, especially I know, I'm Caribbean, I'm Jamaican, so our form of showing love is buying you things like, I sent you to the best school, I bought you this, I did that, so that must mean that you're well taken care of. That's my way of showing you I love you. And it's like,
so
damn,
much more.
All the nigga wanted was a hug. Like, I just wanted a hug. I didn't really, of course I'm grateful.
It's nice.
But that doesn't make me who I am. Children aren't born off of material value. You didn't make me.
You help your kids' emotional development. Parents don't, But you think about what your parents might have been through and what happened with their emotional development. How were their mothers? So how did they know how to be the best mom they can be in that aspect? You know what I mean?
It's a cycle.
You have to notice these things, and like Nate said, you get older and you start seeing your parents as an adult and not my mom. You see that, but
as an actual person,
you look at them as an equal. And
I think that does help.
You see that.
Forgiveness is also a really big thing as well.
Letting go.
My next question is, do you share your I don't want to say parental background while you're dating? I'll say for me, I didn't like telling guys that I didn't have a dad. You can think whatever you want to. My dad he didn't abandon me. He passed away when I was 10. And I felt like I knew that people stigmatize you. And they would see me as, oh, there's this girl, she wants to love on me, and she doesn't have a dad. And she's like that because she's not a dad. So a lot of men used to try and feel like they want to come in and be a provider.
Yeah.
I don't want a father. I had one. I know his name. His name is Carlos. Like, I don't need another person to try and fill that void. So I went a long time not telling. And a lot of guys had no idea my dad passed away. They never knew. They just assumed. And eventually, I remember one dude was just like, well, yeah, you know, I see you don't have any male figures around, so I thought I'd help you. And I'm like, I don't need a rescue.
Right.
I have men in my family.
Right.
My father did pass away, and just because he's not here doesn't make me any less of a human being.
And I didn't ask you.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I just wanted you to be there.
Right.
I didn't need you to swoop me in and rescue me, but this is why you don't need Scorpio mentality. All right. So,
Some Scorpio man.
to answer, do you guys share your family background while
What do you
dating?
mean?
Like, do you
What you just said.
like? Is it important for you to tell somebody like about how you were raised?
I'll be honest. If it comes to a conversation, I
Yeah.
don't mind having the conversation, but I'm not
You're
going to
not
just
gonna force
throw it on the
it.
table. But I'm open to it, and I think it also depends on how close I might feel with you.
Yeah.
Because everybody's not going to get that. I think it's personal. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
Yeah, if we're like a one night stand, I don't,
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
care
Ask about nothing.
I don't care about nothing about
Just-
nothing. But
Got
once
him.
I kind of am feeling you and I expect a future from you,
Right.
that's when we start talking about like, hey, this is my expectations because this is how it is in the family.
Right.
Or like, this is how our families are different, so how are we going to come together? Where I think this relationship is going, and then I kind of bring in the family aspects. But I think it's important
Yeah,
because
definitely.
everybody's raised different.
That's true.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it would just be like a conversation that would just come up, or like as we getting to know each other.
Nah.
So like I wouldn't have like an issue, and then I definitely like family is like kind of deeper on a deeper level, personal level,
Yeah.
because different backgrounds and stuff like that. So I think it'll be interesting to just like see how we came different and how we got to this point.
That's true.
Like, yeah, but I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
You
I
learn
think-
more about them.
I think it's a make or a break. I've dated a lot of guys who came from traumatized family backgrounds. Like, my family wasn't amazing, but a lot of stuff that the guys that I've dated have went through, I cannot relate to that. Like, that emotional trauma is horrible.
Yeah.
And then when you have somebody who has been through, and it's not their fault, has been through that trauma, but they're a grown adult and they're not doing anything about it, now you're placing that trauma onto me.
Right.
And I'm not blaming you, but get some fucking help.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
agree.
I knew that my family issues or my issues that I went through affected me, and I didn't want it to affect me dating, so I said, I'm going to get therapy. You might not want to get therapy, but you got to do something. Because clearly your actions and your hurt from your childhood is still showing up in your
And it's
relationship.
affecting.
Even if you got to talk to all the cousins about all the stuff
Yeah, and
that's
so
all
y'all could all
Right.
relate and have your own therapy session. Like, that's
we got too many
okay.
cousins on this side.
That's okay. I will respect that, but I do think it's a make or break.
Yeah.
As somebody who has dated a lot of men who've been through trauma as a childhood, it's not fun. And it's not easy, and I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
So that saying, come healed, it's real.
It's
And of course, you're not going to be 100% healed, but you need to come somewhat 75%.
working
Working.
Or willing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or willing. That's
Because I know
like,
I've been like, I don't believe in therapy. I'm just like,
Well,
Right.
I'm like, you believe in helping yourself?
Literally, and like if you, and then you ask, like I've had an episode not too long ago where I've asked some of the guys, like, what are your thoughts? And they're like, I don't need therapy. I listen to music. Do you know what you listening to?
Juice.
I smoke lean. I drink lean and fuck these bitches. I'm gonna kill everybody. Like that's what you listen to and you healing? You're not. You ain't. Now I'm not saying listen to jazz but you ain't listening to no high vibrational frequency music, no meditation music, nothing
substance.
to channel your chakras and stuff and
And
to
you're
heal
not even
that.
Just trying to relate.
Thank you.
at least write your
something.
feelings out. Rap about it, please.
Something. So sometimes I would be mad at some of these rappers who be like spilling out they beat, like all of everything they've been through. I respect that, but y'all listening to the ones that's like talking about
All the
hurting
Promoting
people.
toxicity.
Yeah, and it's like now you're still out
You
here
don't
being
want you to be
toxic.
toxic.
Yeah, music is healing and it helps and it makes you feel. And don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, I love music therapy, but what are you listening to? I read
Right.
not too long ago that was like, you can't feel how you feel, and you're in a good moment with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and you over here listening to, and if you're thinking that I hate you, I do. Like, yeah, now you're mad and you're thinking
And
about
now
something that
you're-
happened
yeah,
3
right,
months ago.
right.
Like, no, change your outlook. Sometimes I gotta listen to that. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop the beat. Like something that's gonna
Yes.
lift my spirits
Yeah,
and
the
lift me
moment
higher.
going.
Because when I'm sad, and I listen to that sad music, now I'm depressed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I know myself. So if you ain't gonna go to therapy, you gotta at least come with some solutions and let me know what you're gonna do.
Right.
Because I'm done. Like, I've dealt with trauma, and I don't want to deal with anybody else.
You can't help
I said, trying to help time, and I'm not your therapist.
I don't care if I'm going to school for it. I don't care.
You gotta pay me. I'm not licensed yet.
Okay. And even when I am, I'm still not doing it for free. Stop playing with me. So, with that being said, I want to know, do you think your issues with your parents have affected you while dating?
Yeah.
Me.
I hate liars. My dad had a history of lying. My parents divorced because of financial problems, like financial control. And I've seen, like, my dad has, when I was younger, obviously, I'm 25 now, you're not controlling shit. But when I was younger, my dad, he wanted to, like, when I had, like, my first college bank account, he wanted to see it. He was always texting me, like, why did you spend money on this? Why did you spend money on that? And I'd be honest, I'm like, Dad, I'm a freshman in college.
I'm gonna spend this bread.
I'm spending this on alcohol. Don't
and pizza. Like, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm hungry.
And so then my mom, on the other hand, she's like, after the divorce, she's spending money, like, regardless. She's like, if I have it, I'm gonna spend it. Yeah. She had it then.
Material girl.
But it was so I've learned that, like, my money's my money, your money's your money.
Right.
We can come together and I can help you and you can help me, but that my money's my money, your money's your money, and you got to be honest. Even if it hurts, you got to be honest with me, because as soon as I find out that you lied, it's a whole different problem we got to handle.
I agree. I'll say for me, come on, I'm the host. I'm gonna be honest. I got abandonment issues. I have abandonment issues, and I don't do well with people leaving me. It's very hard for me, and I learned this, and I struggle very often, and I know that is because I was abandoned as a kid. You know, I didn't get an opportunity to really meet my dad, and, like, I knew him, but I didn't get to know him. And my mom wasn't emotionally there, so now sorry. So now that I'm older, I still kind of do sometimes get afraid when people are gonna leave, because I'm so used to it, and now I'm at a point where I don't want it to happen. So yes, to answer the question, it has affected me definitely while dating, but it's 2022 and we gonna get it right.
I want to make sure, so I'm rephrasing the question. So you're saying, like, how, like, our adult background impacted our dating, right?
Yeah.
I think I had a negative and positive impact.
I agree with that.
So, like, my dad, like, my mom and dad are still married, but he works a lot, so, like, it was hard to still bond, because he's, like, even though he's there, he's not there.
Let's have this conversation.
So, like, of course, when he was there, like, he made sure that like, I can count on him. But also, I also have an issue with men, like, I'm kind of used to a man not being there.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm okay, like, if I don't see you for long periods of time. Because I didn't have no brothers or nothing, like, so. And then, but also, like, I'm also, like, have, like, a low expectancy. Like, I'm used to, like, he will make, like, plans and cancel them and stuff. So, like,
you have no expectations.
Yeah, I have no expectations for men. So I'm just like,
I'm really passive.
Yeah. And, like, the men say, like, I'm really nonchalant about something. I'm just like, well, I'm used to like, canceling shit
down or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm used to being disappointed. But my dad, like, he only had all girls. So, like, my positive impact is that I kind of, like, don't need a man, because he's like, I'm going to teach you everything. Like, he didn't have no boys to teach. So he taught us, like, I'm going to teach you how to change the oil in your car, fix the toilet. You ain't going to need no man. Like, you know, so that's why I get my my term, like, a man is like an accessory to my life. He's there for the fun, because I don't need you.
You got it. Yes.
And then, like, also, like, I have some type of accountability for men. Like, my dad, like, even though, like, he sometimes can be there, if I really needed him, he'd show up. Car broke down, he'd show up. This, that, and the third. If I needed money, he would show up. So I'm just like, I have that level of standard for men, because I'm like, my dad did this, so you as a grown man, why can't you do that?
I mean,
he had to be reliable.
I agree.
He was reliable.
Right.
Even if he wasn't there, he was still reliable.
Right. That's a really good point. Justine?
I'd say the communication area. I've grown, but it was a time where it was really hard, and I was really explosive, and that was because of a lot of the parenting style, you know. But I realized that didn't work. It ended my mom and dad, which is why they're not together now. And I knew I didn't want that. If I wanted something to work, I had to articulate what I needed or what I was feeling the best way I could, even when it was hard, you know?
That's the best.
And I'd say control. I definitely know I have a control issue. I'm working on it also, but it's hard. And I'm kind of used to that from both sides. My mom was controlling and so was my dad. And the last thing I'd say is what you pretty much said, Sade. Like, my dad was a gift giver. He was good with the money. And so, just know, I expect what I expect. Okay?
So, correct.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. So, yeah.
I think that, to close out, I just want more people to have these discussions. I think it's important for us to open up and talk about what makes us us. I mean, children are not born crazy. They're not born, some. Sorry, let's be realistic. We watch some serial killer documentaries.
I was thinking about it.
Not sociopaths, psychopaths. Some of them born like that. But the point is, we have been shaped to be who we are. And anybody listening who's struggled with mommy or daddy issues and blame themselves, it's not your fault. You did not create that. I just want and I hope that you break that cycle. I wish for healing and blessings on anybody listening who's struggled once and maybe not severely compared to others. Don't doubt yourself. You're where you are right now because, you went through what you went through, but you're still here. So if nobody's ever told you, I'm proud of you, we all proud of you here, keep striving, keep pushing. And you're not alone.
And can I say?
Yeah.
And don't give up on the older people. Don't give up on the older people. Some of them can still break that cycle.
I agree.
Later.
Even if it take them.
I'm on the fence. But
some of them do, some of them don't. I won't. Don't give up. At least give it a good old college try.
I respect that. Because I've been told that before. So
it's never too late.
Yeah, my mom broke some of the generational curses.
I agree.
Yeah.
So have faith. Have faith in your parents. Have faith in yourself. Most of all, like I said, just wish healing on everybody who's listening. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for next week's episode where I will have the same discussion, a little bit different questions, but with the men. Peace and blessings. This is Loans and Coffee. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow all of my co-hosts. Peace.
Bye.